Remember Quibi? In 2020, they launched with $1.75 billion in funding, A-list Hollywood talent, and massive media coverage. 6 months later, they shut down. Meanwhile, Notion quietly launched years earlier with minimal fanfare, focused on nailing product market fit and building community trust. Today, they're valued at over $10 billion. What made the difference? Launch dynamics. In my previous video, we explored the 10 building blocks of GTM strategy. But here's what I didn't tell you. Knowing the blocks isn't enough. You need to know when and how to activate them. Today, we're diving into the 3 critical stages that transform those building blocks from theory into results: pre-launch, launch, and post-launch. Stage 1: pre-launch, where winners are made. Most people think the launch is where the magic happens. They're wrong. The real magic happens in the shadows, weeks or months before anyone outside your team knows what you're building. Target audience and problem-solution fit are your obsession during pre-launch. Dropbox didn't start with a finished product. Drew Houston created a 3-minute explainer video, posted it on Hacker News, and watched his beta waiting list explode from 5,000 to 75,000 overnight. That was validation that the problem was real and painful. Before Superhuman launched their email app, they spent months perfecting their positioning as the fastest email experience ever made and validating it through invite-only testing with power users. They didn't just ask, "Do you like it?" They measured time to inbox, tracked behavior, and relentlessly iterated. This is also where budget meets reality. You need to answer, what's our customer acquisition cost? How many customers do we need to break even? Which channels will give us the best ROI? Robinhood spent their pre-launch phase building a waiting list of over 1 million people before launch, creating massive demand while keeping costs near zero. Building buzz or not? Not every product needs hype. High-buzz launches work for consumer products where FOMO, meaning fear of missing out, drives adoption. Quiet launches work for B2B when you need to prove ROI before scaling. Slack famously launched quietly through internal use, then expanded to friendly companies. They perfected the product before opening the floodgates. By the time most people heard about Slack, it was already proven. Pre-launch bottom line. You're not ready to launch until you can answer, who wants this? Why do they want it? How will they find it? And what will it cost? Stage 2: launch, when preparation meets reality. Launch day is when everything you've planned collides with the real world. Multiple building blocks activate simultaneously. Channels and distribution move from planning to execution. When Notion relaunched in 2018, they didn't rely on paid ads. They activated Product Hunt, targeted communities on Reddit and Twitter, and leveraged word of mouth from passionate early users. Messaging and storytelling crystallize into your launch narrative. When Apple launched AirPods, they didn't lead with wireless earbuds with W1 chip technology. They led with freedom. No more tangled wires, seamless switching, magical setup. The story was simple, emotional, and instantly understandable. Sales strategy and funnel design get their first real test. 4B2C. This means landing pages converting traffic, onboarding sequences guiding first actions, and early wins happening within minutes. 4B2B. It's demo requests flooding in, sales teams qualifying leads fast, and personalized demos showcasing value. HubSpot's launch included free tools like their website grader that generated thousands of leads, warmed them up with educational content, then converted them through demos and trials. While marketing celebrates, operations teams are in the trenches, servers handling traffic spikes, support teams answering questions, payment systems processing transactions, bugs getting fixed in real time. Metrics and feedback loops become your dashboard. Signups, conversion rates, drop-off points, engagement, critical issues. The best launches include war rooms, teams monitoring metrics and making real-time adjustments. Launch bottom line, the goal isn't perfection. It's momentum. You want enough attention, enough conversions, and enough early wins to prove the concept and fuel the next stage. Stage 3: post-launch, where legends are built. Here's the brutal truth. Launch day is the easy part. The hard part is what happens after. Can you keep customers? Can you scale? Can you build a sustainable business? Customer onboarding and retention become your obsession. Duolingo understood this from day one. Their onboarding is brilliantly simple. You're learning words within 2 minutes. Then they deploy every retention tactic: streaks, notifications, gamification. They engineered their entire post-launch experience around habit formation. A retained customer costs 5 to 7 times less than acquiring a new one, refers others, upgrades to higher tiers, and provides feedback that improves your product. Netflix doesn't celebrate when someone signs up. They celebrate when someone finishes their first show, because that's the behavior that predicts retention. Metrics and feedback loops shift to growth metrics: churn rate, net promoter score, feature usage, customer lifetime value, and CAC to LTV ratio. Spotify analyzes billions of listening sessions to discover weekly and personalized recommendations that keep users coming back. As traction builds, product positioning and pricing evolve. Zoom started positioned as easy video conferencing for businesses. Post-launch, they discovered massive adoption for webinars and education. They adapted their positioning, added new pricing tiers, and built features for these use cases. Success attracts attention and imitators. Instagram launched in 2010. Within months, dozens of photo-sharing apps appeared. Instagram won by obsessively improving the core experience, building community features, and eventually getting acquired by Facebook. Your post-launch strategy must include continuous product innovation, community building, competitive monitoring, and crisis management. The moment you stop iterating is the moment you start dying. Post-launch bottom line: launch gets you attention. Post-launch builds your business. Why this timeline perspective changes everything. Understanding GTM strategy through these 3 stages helps you avoid 2 fatal mistakes. Mistake number 1: overinvesting in launch hype while ignoring retention. Quibi had the biggest launch in streaming history. They also had terrible retention because they didn't validate product market fit. Billions spent, nothing built. Mistake number 2: rushing to launch without proper validation. Google Plus launched to compete with Facebook but skipped critical pre-launch validation. They assumed better features would win, ignoring that Facebook's network effects made switching nearly impossible. The 10 building blocks aren't just a checklist. They're a dynamic system that evolves. Pre-launch: validate, refine, prepare. Launch: execute, convert, learn. Post-launch: retain, scale, dominate. Your move. Which stage is your biggest blind spot? Are you rushing to launch without enough validation? Nailing launches but struggling with retention? Or playing it too safe in pre-launch? Drop a comment below. I read every one. And if you found this valuable, hit subscribe. In the next video, we're diving deep into the project management perspective of running a successful GTM strategy. See you then.